Okay, today I'm going to be going over UFC 309, Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. And I have quarrels with this card, but it's not that bad. The card's pretty good. The prelims are decent. There's a lot of names, not like big names, but names you would know, and names more than the casual fan would know, I would say. Names such as Jim Miller, Damon Jackson, Jonathan Martinez, that kind of thing, that kind of level. Chris Weidman. So yeah, the card it's in general is pretty good. I'm not gonna hate on it as much as some people. Some people hate this card. I think it's not terrible. The main card is rather mid, but shit. I'll take a mid card over what we've been getting lately. So yeah, this card is okay. The main event is disgraceful, but it has potential to be exciting if what I want to happen happens. But we'll get to it. So I'll start off the main card predictions with Mauricio Rufy versus James Lontop. So they got Rufy again. Main card in his second fight in the UFC. I don't know about that. That's kind of stupid. That doesn't make any sense. But shit, I'm okay with it. Fuck it. Mauricio Rufy is very good. He's very exciting. His debut was one of the best debuts I've ever seen in my life. He hit a fucking scissor sweep. He's good. He's very good. He's very technically sound. He's very flow state fighter. Reminded me a lot of Conor McGregor when he fought in his debut. He's very, very entertaining. Crisp, clean striker. And he's part of the fighting nerds, and they've been going on a fucking streak. And James Lontop is not very good. He's coming off of two losses now in the UFC. Only fights in the UFC. Two losses. Decision to Borshev not too long ago, like a couple months ago. Took a lot of damage in that fight. Borshev's pretty good. He's not amazing. And he beat the shit out of James on top for 2 rounds. Or 3 rounds. What am I talking about? It was back and forth, but Borshev clearly won, and James on top took a lot of damage. Mauricio Rufy is insanely good. Insanely crisp striking. I am behind the hype train fully. I think Mauricio Rufy is going to fucking pick apart James Lontop on the feet and finish him. I think that's just what's going to happen. I think Mauricio is too crisp, too technical on the feet, and he's going to get into his flow state where he's going to find out his perfect distance management. He's going to put hands on James Lontop and finish him. That's what I think is going to happen in this fight. Next. Not that. Next. Karine Silva versus Vivian Araujo. So I think this fight is hard to predict because shit, I don't. It could go either way. It's really just a toss up with some women's fights, most of them. So, but I am gonna go with Karine Silva for some reasons. I think that Karine Silva is coming off of a lot of momentum. She's coming off of wins against mid people, some very mid people. Her last one is pretty good, but mid people overall. And Vivian Araujo is coming off of losses, but against some actually kind of good people like Alexa Grasso, which she actually did pretty good against her. So it's hard to pick this, but purely momentum based and age based, I'm gonna go with Karine Silva, 37 to 30. Vivian is 37. Karine is 30 years old. I think that's gonna play a part in this. I think that just attitude and overall confidence going into this fight is going to make the difference. I think Karine Silva is going to just mog her confidence wise and be able to get this one done. It's hard to pick. This fight's impossible to fucking pick. I don't know. But I'm picking Karine Silva for that. There's a lot of fights on this card that are hard to pick. This one doesn't matter. This one I'm just fucking bullshitting this one. But there's some ones later on that are actually like I'm pretty much picking on the spot here. So next, Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. So this one's very, very interesting because Bo Nickel has a lot of hype behind his name. He has a lot of finishing potential in both wrestling, submissions, and knockout power. He's very good. 6-0. Pretty much all finishes, I'm pretty sure. Coming off of a win against Cody Brundage where he didn't show much weakness. Like people read into it a lot, but he didn't show much weakness. He beat the shit out of him. What I will say is his striking wasn't that clean. And he did get tossed once by Cody Brundage, but I don't think that's going to make a huge difference in this fight. What is going to make a huge difference in this fight is the person that Bo Nickel is against in this fight. The person standing across from him is the Scottish fucking monster, Paul Craig, who has probably the most sporadic, dumb, stupid, weird record of all time. He loses by KO to randoms to fucking, he'll lose to like mid people, and then he'll submit Magomed Ankalaev in the 5th round of the last fucking couple seconds. Like, he is that guy to fraud check someone like Bo Nickel. And he's the guy to just win somehow. He can just pull it off. He's not very good on the feet. He does tend to accept bottom and kind of just weirdly give up in positions. But I have a weird feeling that Paul Craig is going to get this one done. I'm going to go with Paul Craig by submission. The big worry here is that Bo Nickel is going to... I don't think Bo Nickel submits Paul Craig. I think Bo Nickel is going to... If Bo wins clearly by finish, it'll be a knockout. Paul Craig has no chin right now and doesn't have much defense. But in his embedded episodes, I've been seeing that he's keeping that chin tucked when he throws that body kick now. Maybe he learned after fucking a decade of fighting, or a couple decades, or however long he's been fighting. Maybe he's finally learned to tuck his fucking chin. And I think he has. I'm going to go with it. I think that Paul Craig is dangerous wherever you really take him. On the feet, not really. But he's not like a big, huge bitch in the striking department. And Bo Nickel couldn't knock out Cody Brundage. I don't think he's going to flatline KO Paul Craig. I don't think Bo Nickel's nearly the striker that Kyle Baralho is. I don't think Bo Nickel is going to have an advantage in the stature department. Paul Craig's a big dude. I'm pretty sure Paul Craig's a lot taller than him. I could be wrong. I didn't actually check. But I think Paul Craig is taller than him. They're the same size, and Paul Craig's big. He's a big guy. He's a former light heavyweight. This is going to be trouble for Bo Nickel, I think. If Bo Nickel takes him down, which I do think he will, I do think that Paul Craig can submit him off his back with some crazy shit. And I am going to predict him to do so. I'm going to go with Paul Craig by submission in some crazy fucking weird fashion that he tends to hit on people. I think this is Bo Nickel's... This might be Bo Nickel's little kryptonite situation with Paul Craig. Some jiu-jitsu freak that's just going to throw something out there. I think Paul Craig is going to get this one done, which is crazy to say, but I just have a feeling. It might be delusional as hell. We might get to see even worse delusional picks later. But I'm going to go with Paul Craig to win by submission. Next, Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. So this one's a really hard one for me. I am so fucking torn on who's going to win this fight. Everything every part of my brain that is logical should be picking Charles Oliveira. I want Charles Oliveira to win. I think Charles is insanely exciting. He's great at striking. He's great everywhere. He has amazing jiu-jitsu. He beat Michael Chandler in their first fight by knockout. But it's hard to say because he had weaknesses in that first round big time. And Michael Chandler, there's something about what he's doing right now that is giving me a weird feeling that he's going to go out there and knock out Charles Oliveira in the fucking first round instantly. And I don't know why. It's just something I'm feeling in my gut that Michael Chandler is going to win somehow. He kind of just does that sometimes. He just kind of wins sometimes. And I think I have a weird feeling that he might. But Charles Oliveira is just he's a better fighter than him. Charles Oliveira is way better. If Michael Chandler gets crazy like he did before, Charles Oliveira is going to scramble and choke him out. He probably beats him on the feet, but Charles Oliveira gets rocked all the goddamn time. He gets hit and dropped all the time. And it's I feel like it's only a matter of time before he gets popped and goes completely out. And I don't see how hungry Charles is right now. Some people are saying that after the loss, Charles is going to be more hungry, but I don't know. I just didn't see the urgency in that Arman fight like I would have wanted to. Like I am expecting to see out of Michael Chandler in this fight. I'm expecting Michael to be fucking angry at what Conor McGregor's been doing to him. And I'm expecting Chandler to go out there with a fucking vengeance and fucking throw. And I think Charles, if he starts slow at all, which he doesn't start slow. He starts quick. But if he, even for a fucking second, thinks, oh, I got this in the bag, and gets a little bit lazy, Michael Chandler can fucking put him out. Same thing with Charles, though. This fight is fucking impossible for me to pick. So I'm going to pick right now because I haven't actually made up my mind. I'm going to go with... God damn it. Fuck it. This card will be just card of delusion. I'm going to go with Michael Chandler by knockout in the first round. I'm going to go with that. I think that Michael is going to start quick as hell. I think Charles Oliveira is going to have success on the ground. I think if it goes to the ground, Charles Oliveira will have success. Michael Chandler is fucking ripped right now. In insane shape. I feel like he has the right attitude going into this fight that it's going to be a different story this time. He had a pretty fucking solid first round against Charles Oliveira. I should be picking Oliveira. He fucking finished him. And Michael Chandler hasn't really beaten anybody. But I have a weird feeling that Michael Chandler is going to go out there and put Charles Oliveira out cold. I don't want it to happen. I want Charles Oliveira to win. But there's a gut feeling in me that Michael Chandler is going to pull this one from whatever fucking weird bullshit inspirational garbage he likes to spew into the world. He's a fucking cringe, but oh my god, I think he's gonna fucking knock out Charles in some dumb way. And I think that is actually what's gonna happen in this fight, which is weird and sad and bad to say out loud, but I do think that's what's gonna happen. Charles could easily win this fight, easier than the first time he did, but I have a strange feeling Chandler's going to get this one done. Even though he has a 2-year layoff, I don't see that as a negative for him for some reason. It's different than for Jon Jones's 2-year layoff or whatever. Like, he's just been training and getting ripped. And he's fucking ripped. Not to be gay or anything, but he is jacked right now. And I think he's going to be able to put out Oliveira in the first round. I just have a feeling. He's going to use the momentum that he had in that first round in his first fight, but he's going to go that extra little edge more, and he's going to knock him out. So that's my official prediction for this fight. First round knockout for Michael Chandler. If it goes past the first round, Oliveira takes this fight easily. But I just have a feeling Michael Chandler's going to get it done, which is so stupid. But yeah, next. The main event. Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. My mood will be very, very, very different depending on the outcome of this fight. And for this fight, I'm going to predict the obvious. If you don't pick this fighter to win, you're just dumb. Like, you don't have a brain if you're not picking this fighter to win. I'm going to go with Stipe Miocic by flash first round knockout. And I'll explain why. I bet you thought I was going to say the opposite. No, I'm going Stipe by knockout. I don't think Jon Jones has what it takes to beat the GOAT of heavyweight in Stipe Miocic. And I'll explain. I'll fucking refute every claim about the Jon Jones prediction right now. It's cope, but I'm going to do it. And there's actually some valid reasoning. They've both been off for a very long time. Stipe has been out for like 3 years after a brutal knockout from Ngannou. I don't hate that for his chin. He's 42. Don't like that. Jon Jones, 37. I don't. They're the same fucking range of age. People have got it done in their old age. Glover Teixeira has proven that. It's not impossible to do that. Jon Jones, 2-year layoff, or a year and a half, or whatever it was, from a fucking pec tear where it came completely off his bone. I don't feel like this is getting enough attention. He fucking tore his pec apart completely, which, by the way, doesn't fucking happen unless you're on steroids usually. Just saying. It's not very common, like super uncommon unless you're on steroids, and he fucking did it trying to go for a takedown. Like, what? I don't know about that. But he tore his fucking pec apart. It's not like he's been grinding for 2 years. He's been recovering for a year of it for a fucking pec tear, like the worst injury you can get. That's huge. It's a huge thing. It's a huge part of this fight. Stipe Miocic has pretty good boxing. He doesn't have terrible boxing. He has knockout power, which is important. I don't know if he will in his old age. It's hard to say. But he has it to a degree. He can throw. He's not fucking Cyril Gahn, who's a fucking bitch and just gets instantly taken down and choked out. Stipe Miocic has wrestling. He was able to wrestle contend with DC, which is the same kind of deal Jon Jones did. Jon Jones is coming off of a fucking pec tear, going for a takedown. I'm guessing it's going to come with a little bit of weird judgment. Also, Stipe Miocic has very little pressure going into this fight. Sure, he can regain his belt, but he's been there, done that. He's gotten the belt before. He's old as hell. He has a family that loves him. He is a fireman saving lives, and if Jon Jones wins this fight, there is little good in this world. It has to happen. Jon Jones has to lose this fight, or I've lost faith in everything. Because Jon Jones beat his wife. He's a fucking roid abuser. He's done everything fucking wrong. He's a horrible person. If Stipe doesn't flatline KO Jon Jones, there's little hope for this planet and for anything good. Stipe needs to win this fight, and I think he can, and I think he's gonna. I'm gonna pick him. I'm on a little bit of a streak in main events, and I'm gonna use my good luck to pick Stipe Miocic by knockout, and it's not fully delusional. It's a little bit of delusion. It's a good amount of delusion. I do think he has a chance of winning this fight. I think he'll be able to negate a bit of grappling, or at least survive. He's tough as fuck. If he can survive, he is a survivor. Stipe Miocic is a goddamn survivor. If he survives the first 2 rounds against Jon Jones and doesn't fold a complete fuck like Cyril Gahn, he can do this. He can survive the first 2. He gets stronger and survives fights as fights go on. He will go forward. He'll start to pick up momentum as the fight goes on. Even in his old age, he's tough as hell. He has that mindset. He's not very smart. He'll go forward, and he'll throw. And I think his takedown defense will get better as the fight goes on. I think Jon Jones will start to crumble a little bit. I think Jon Jones has all the pressure on him. All the stuff with Aspinall, he's ducking Aspinall blatantly. And I think the trash talk, he says it's not getting to him. He says everybody saying he's ducking doesn't get to him at all. It's hard. I think it would be hard for anybody to get out of that with at least a little bit of that on your mind. And especially after this upcoming fight week, press conference, upcoming stuff, there's going to be a lot of input about him ducking and other bullshit. And depending on which fighters go where, we could bring up some interesting topics about his past. I think that's a lot for one mind to handle, especially in the fragile mind of Jon Jones, who beats his wife because for any reason. Also, Jon Jones isn't dominant, especially recently. Not, excluding Cyril Gahn, I'm just going to ignore that. That shit's dumb. Ignoring that, Dominic Reyes. He lost that fight to Dominic Reyes. He's taken split decisions with, decision Anthony Smith. He split decision with Thiago Santos. He's not dominating everybody. And I don't even think he dominated the fight with his wife. I think he ran out of the apartment building. You never know. She might have fought back and gave him a run for his money. You never know. I wouldn't put it past him to lose to his wife in a fight. But Stipe Miocic has that fireman strength dumb mentality, and I think he can put it to good use against Jones. And I think he'll be able to find the chin of Jon Jones, who's also aging. And it's not like Stipe's losing to people by knockout that aren't the fucking heaviest hands of all time. Like, yeah, he got knocked out by Ngannou. Ngannou has the most powerful punch of all time ever, or some shit. He has insane knockout power, and he still caught Ngannou back a little bit. I'm coping hard right now, but yeah, he still caught him, caught him on the coming in, and then got confident, and then Ngannou put him out. I think Jon Jones has zero punching knockout power at all. I think Stipe will be able to eat it, especially after the 3 years he's taken. Hopefully training, hopefully just improving all around. I hope his training camp went perfectly. I think 3-year layoff after getting put out cold is good for your chin. I think a 2-year layoff after ripping your pec in half is not a good thing at all. These are the reasons I'm actually unironically picking Stipe Miocic to win this fight. I think he's going to be able to get this one done. I'm very excited to see my pick come to fruition. If Stipe wins, all will be good in the world. If Jon wins, everything will be bad. Unless he fights Tom Aspinall. Then everything will be good in the world because Tom will kill him. But yes, that is my pick for the main event of this card. Unironically, I am picking Stipe. I do think he has a shot. I have a feeling he is going to win. I think that pec tear is going to play a bigger part than we think. And I think we're counting Stipe out a little bit. And I also think I'm coping very, very bad. But we're going to go with it, I think. I'm excited. I need some stakes in this card. The only way to make this fight exciting is to root fully for Stipe and put my pick reputation on the line a little bit to go with Stipe Miocic by knockout if it happens. That's pretty sick. So yeah. Number 16 versus number 4. Why is this fight even happening? It's so dumb. But whatever. It's happening, and Stipe is going to win and prove everyone wrong and stop the reign of this evil fucking dork, idiot, wife-beating, cheating, fucking gay retard. And that'll be my closing statement. I'll see you soon.